Can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
What's there to say? Um, I'm a lot of things. I'm a million things. I'm interested in a lot of things. A lot of what I do is expressive of that in my job, let's say, being a paramedic. And just having fun and making people laugh. That's who I am. And I've been writing, rapping since I was 15 years old. And just have fun with it. And lately I've been a little bit more serious with my rap. No beat, nothing, because I wanted to take away from distractions. So what I would do is I would just write down whatever's going through my mind, and that would be kind of like a therapy for me. And I guess that says a lot. And that's how I express myself. And so if I had to put it all in a nutshell, that's what I think I would be.
Where are your parents from?
My mom was born in Morocco, raised in Israel, and my father was born in Germany, raised in Canada. And my dad moved to Israel to try to find a wife, and he found the best one in the world.
How would you describe your relationship with your parents?
It's pretty good now that I'm older. When I was younger, it was a little rocky. You know, obviously growing up, you have your back and forths with your parents. My father a little bit more than my mother. My mother and I were way more closer. We're more alike. And but my father's a good person. He's a good man. And we just had a lot of friction growing up. You know, teenage boys, and they talk back to their father, and it's not, you learn when you're older to respect them and stuff like that. So, but the older I got, the more appreciative I am of having them, especially after this. I would say it's gotten better now.
Have you always been a mama's boy?
Funny question. Yes, especially when I was younger. I was always attached to my mom. Me and my mom are like the same person, same soul and everything. She just happens to be in a woman and I'm in a man, Yeah. And it's my father and I are not alike as far as personality wise, but my mother and I have been really, really close my whole life. And I'm not afraid to say, yeah, I'm a mama's boy, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you love most about your mom?
Her strength, her warmth, there's so much to put in there. That's a loaded question. What I love most about her is her love, is how she loves,
Yeah.
She puts it all into her children. And even though, you know what it is too, she's Israeli, so her style of love is it can be a little harsh, but I appreciate it because I know where it's coming from,
Yeah.
She's the type to tell you like it is and not sugarcoat something, but she's also very kind in her approach. She's very, she's always taught me, kill them with kindness. And her personality is that. She's outgoing, she's kind, she's full of life, she's full of energy, and she loves to love.
Right.
And she loves to make laugh and entertain people. And she instilled that in me. And a lot of times when I'm not acting that way, or if I'm too serious, or if I'm stressed, or if I'm depressed for whatever reason, that's when I know I feel out of character because my mom's not like that.
Right.
When this whole thing happened to her, she was very, I guess trying to be tough about it, strong about it, to kind of put her kids' hearts at ease. She was like, it's fine, I'm older now, this is what happens, this is life, and it hurt me to know that this happened to her, but I know she was being strong. I know she was putting it out there also for herself, not just to put our hearts at ease, but also for herself to be strong.
Right.
And my older sister didn't take it too well. She took it like, how could you say it's not a big deal? Like, we're here for you, we care about you, we this. But I kind of see what she was doing. She was trying to put kind of like a, not a front, but maybe sort of a front for herself and her kids, because that's how she is naturally. That's her personality. She's, oh, it's fine. Anything happens, there's a problem in life, anything, any obstacle, no, it's fine.
Right.
You know, and then, you know, to hear that she actually had a panic attack, you know, a few hours after the news, when she was just trying to play it off, went to a friend's house, have some coffee and cake and just relax, and she had a little bit of a panic attack, you know, and that's not my mom's character, but that's how it just made it that much more real to me to know that she went through that. And now I'm catching myself at moments where I'm, you know, I kind of say, okay, I'm optimistic, I'm fine, everything's cool, you know, we're going to fight it, we're going to beat it. And then I would have these moments where I just get really, really, really scared, and I would just start breaking down.
Of course.
And it's crazy how we'll have it. Almost seems like a mood swing from someone observing from the outside.
Right.
It technically is, but it's very hard. That's why it's out of character for her.
So when did you first realize something was wrong with her?
Well, she was complaining a lot about pain. She had a lot of body pain. She had a lot of shoulder pain and back pain in her arms, and she thought it was her arthritis, and it's been going on for like a couple of months. And but she would always shrug it off, and she, I put some ointment here, I put some oil, I tried this thing, I feel a little bit better, I'm feeling worse, I'm feeling better. She'd be back and forth. And then she started noticing she's losing a lot of weight. At first she's getting happy about it. She's like, oh, my son's wedding is coming up, you know, I'm losing weight, feeling good.
Yeah.
We started realizing it's not that she changed her diet or started exercising, it just started happening. So losing weight and having body pain, and so she just went for a regular checkup with her heart doctor, and just a yearly annual thing, and came back the results that her white blood cell was very high. So the doctors thought it was an infection that they don't know about, so they're doing some more tests and more tests and more tests, and they came back with leukemia. And it was shocking because that doesn't make sense to happen to my mom. You know, I know everyone says that, you know, not my mom, why her, why this, but my mom's like the strongest person I know. She's the happiest person. She smoked cigarettes her whole life. You know, she had cancer when she was 26 years old, lung cancer, and thank God they were able to get rid of it before it spread. But since then, she still smoked, and she still lives her life and happy and everything, and no problems. No, even her heart condition, it wasn't even a heart attack, it was just preemptive care, just to prevent one from happening. Like, nothing's ever been really wrong with her. She's always been tough, and so it was shocking.
How would you describe your feelings, thoughts, the time your mom broke the news to you?
Whew. Very weird. I say weird because I've never heard that kind of news before in my life about someone that close to me, or even myself or anything. Shock, disbelief. I didn't know what to think. As a matter of fact, I was actually on the phone, and I was on the phone with customer service or something, trying to fix my computer. It just wasn't working. And my mom was calling me, and so I ignored her call, made a mental note, I'm going to call her back when I'm done with this customer service call. She calls again, and again, I didn't answer because I'm on the phone. Then she sends me a text. So I said, okay, let me see what this is while I'm on hold. I go, and I look at the text, and that's when she tells me what she has. And I was just in such shock and in such denial that I continued my phone call. I finished it, you know. I fixed my computer, and then I hung up, and then I called her, and I said, what? You know, I didn't know how to react. I couldn't react. I was in shock, you know. Even Ariel was next to me, and she was just like didn't know what to think or what to do or how to feel, or you know. It wasn't until I called her and spoke to her and even then I was in denial. I would talk to her and be like, "What? Are you sure? You maybe get a second opinion. Maybe they don't know what they're talking about. You know how it is. You get a little frustrated, and I guess it's one of the 5 stages of grief, right? Yeah. And once we hung up the phone, that was when it started to sink in, and I started thinking the worst of things, and that's when it took over, and it went from disbelief to yeah, this is real, and we need to stop denying it already. It's not helping out. It's not doing any good by denying it. Let's take it serious, and if worst case scenario we're wrong, fine. But I'm not gonna be wrong the other way around, where I'm not taking it serious and I'm wrong for it.
How do you feel knowing that the medical bills would be coming in without her having insurance?
It's devastating, and it also angers me. I see almost everybody with insurance, and there's I'm sure a lot of details to why she doesn't have it, but not good enough to not anger me, It's very frustrated, but instead of just getting mad, I'm just trying to figure out, all right, how do I get her insurance? What do we have to do? It's very, very, very expensive, especially for what's happening to her and what she needs. That's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to help her out with the bills. We found out that one medication that her hematologist told her about was $7,000 a month. Wow. That's just the beginning. That's not even any kind of bone marrow transplant or anything or whatever else they would do with blood transfusion. I don't know what they would do, but that's just pills. Doctor's visits alone, just for a consultation with with the specialist, would be $2,000 just to sit down and talk to him. It's just to talk.
That's outrageous.
With insurance, I'm sure it would help. I don't know if it would cover everything. So because this is more of a preemptive thing, because I don't know how much the bills are going to stack up. I don't know if insurance is going to take care of it. I don't know if she's going to get qualified by the time we do, if they take care of anything retroactively. So I'm doing this to help her out and to give her some peace of mind, to know that don't worry, this is not a burden on you. This isn't a burden on your kids. We're going to make sure we help you. And there's a lot of people out there that love to help. Yeah. And it's a blessing. It's a mitzvah. And it's going to be an overall good thing, But yeah, it really angered me to find out that, why can't she get it, She's in a position where she deserves it like anybody else, So yeah.
So, what inspired you to make a video like this?
To be honest, I was on the phone with my friend, one of my closest friend, Roy Barron, and I was telling him the news, and I was really upset, and I was crying about it, and I was really taken back, and I just didn't know how to feel. I felt weird everywhere. I went to work. The next day I went to work because my girl was like, maybe this will distract you from, maybe you get your mind off of it and work, I tried to do it. I went to work and I just couldn't do it. So I couldn't hang. So I went home, spoke to him, told him the whole story, and he was being very very supportive, and he was there for me. He was talking to me, and he was saying, why don't you turn this into a good thing? Why don't you use this situation to better the situation? Use your talents. You've done raps about Trump. You've done raps about politics and your job and other topics. And why don't you do it about this? Why don't you do a cancer rap? And at first I thought, okay, maybe that would make me feel better for the moment, but what is that doing? And he brought up the idea of ultimately to help out my mom, to raise money for her. And I thought, you know what? That could be 2 things. One, it would be a great thing for my mom. It would help raise money for her and she'll be taken care of, great. But it would also get my mind off of it, not in depression mode. So it kind of got me into like a fighting spirit mode where I'm fighting with her, alongside her. And it also got my mind off it and on it at the same time, if that's hard. Because when I write, I lose track of time. I could write and I don't know if 20 minutes went by or 4 hours went by, but 4 hours would go by and I'm like, whoa. So this was one of the hardest things to write. It took me a lot longer than 4 hours to write because it was very emotional. I would stop, I would get writer's block. I just didn't know how to express it. I didn't know if it was good enough. Then I got to the point where I was like, let me just do it, and however it comes out because it's for a good cause. This isn't about me and my talent or my rhymes or rap or punchlines or whatever. I don't care. This is to get the message out in a creative way and to help raise money for her so that she can live, whatever much time she's here comfortably.
What made you comfortable sharing such a personal experience like this with everyone?
I wouldn't say it's comfortable, but it's also part of my nature. Not to just say all my business to everybody, but to express myself and in the most creative way possible and just be me and have fun and enjoy life. And I feel like if anything deserves attention, it's this, because my mom's not the only person going through it. A lot of people are going through it. A lot of people are having problems fighting the cancer. A lot of people would have a beautiful fighting chance if only they had the insurance to cover the bills. So because I know a lot of people go through this, it can help a lot of people as well as my mother. That is encouragement in itself to do it. And that's where I would say that courage comes to let everybody know rather than just comfortable. It's the most uncomfortable thing I'm doing in my life is to not only write about it, but to actually sit there disciplined in recording it and editing it and sharing it and running a campaign and sitting down doing this interview. Nothing is comfortable about this situation, but I know it's for something good. I know it's for something bigger than me. So that's what makes it worth it.
Where do you see your mom in the next 5 years?
God willing, in the next 5 years, she's happy, she's free, she's comfortable, she's laughing, she's throwing Shabbat dinners, she's living her best life, her best years. I picture her absolutely ecstatic, and I picture her at ease and worry-free, stress-free. God willing, this is going to be good for her. This is, I actually brought her to see this rabbi to get a blessing and to get some advice and stuff like that. And I told him, I said, because it's my mom, it's very hard for me to be optimistic. I'm usually optimistic about everything. My friends will come up to me and say, I broke up with my girlfriend. I'll be optimistic. Oh, maybe this is for the best. Maybe this is something, everything is meant to be and whatever. But with my mom, it's tough, it's hard to be optimistic because it hits so close to home. So he says, because it's your mom, that's why you have to be optimistic, because that's the only thing that's going to help her. And he said, don't just be optimistic in front of her and, be there for her and be strong for her. You have to be optimistic in your bedroom by yourself. And it really hit home, because what's my other option? Be upset and depressed and cry about it. It's not going to do any good. But being optimistic might do good, so why not take that chance? And it's the only thing that's going to help her, because at the end of the day, I feel like anything can be cured with the right mind, with your mind in the right place, the right attitude. And that's what helps me to continue being optimistic. Whenever I get scared, whenever I get depressed about it, my girl would snap me right back in and be like, yo, we gotta fight. Like, this is the only thing that's gonna beat this cancer is this optimism. Yeah. That's why I incorporated that in the rap. I didn't want it to just be a sad rap. Everyone hears it and starts crying, and then it ends on a note that, there's nothing you can do, it's cancer. I wanted to be optimistic, and I'm doing it for her. I'm doing it for myself and my family. And I'm also doing it for everybody out there that's hearing it, because they might need that optimism when it seems hopeless. And That's the main purpose. That's the main goal of this whole project, is to give my mom, myself, my family, and everyone else out there that could relate hope.
What impact would you like to have on others after sharing this?
Give people hope and strength and encouragement to fight for that good fight, and to be strong and to be optimistic, and also to understand that at the end of the day, if your only choice is to be optimistic or sad about it or crying about it or angry about it or in denial about it, if that's your only options, then you technically have no other option. You have to be optimistic. You have to be. That doesn't mean to be happy about it. It just means to look at it like, this is life. Yes, this is what happens. But this is also, a life where things can happen that you don't expect. There's always hope. And worst case scenario, there is no hope. Then you have to have optimism and saying, you know what, at least now I get to enjoy this person as much as possible, build as much memories as possible. And if people can take away from this the message of don't take your family for granted, that would in itself be worth it.
I'm going to end off with this last question here for you is, what have you learned from this experience?
I've learned that I'm possibly stronger than I think. My mom is stronger than I thought, and I thought she was the strongest person in the world. I've learned that above all things, family's first, love is first, optimism's first. I've learned that at any moment, any given moment, your life can just take a turn. Now, I work as a paramedic on the street. I see it all the time. There are some people I've been able to save, and some people I just tried everything. It didn't help, When it's their time, it's their time. So as human beings, we walk around very insecure, We have a whole life ahead of us. We have relationships, we have our job, we have careers and commitments, but you can get hit by a bus walking across the street and you don't even know, and everything's done. So at any given moment, you can just drop. So we're very insecure in nature. But I think that's also a good thing, because it can help you appreciate. Because if that wasn't the case and you just could live forever, then you'd take probably everything for granted. But because we know we have a limited time here, we have to be kind and warm and loving to each other and appreciate each other, because you never know. I know people say it all the time, you never know when, that's why I say never hang up the phone angry. Never leave on a bad note, because you never know when you're going to speak to that person again. You might regret it for the rest of your life. If I learned one thing from this whole thing, that's it. By far the hardest thing I've ever done in my life is to ask anyone for help. Anyone that knows me knows that's who I am. I like to be independent. I like to take care of things on my own. But when it comes to this kind of situation, I'm asking for your help. I want the last amount of years, God willing, it's another 20 years, but the last amount of years, whatever time my mom has left on this planet, I want it to be comfortable. I want her bills to be taken care of. I don't want her to worry about insurance. I don't want her to worry about bills. I don't want her to worry about anything. So I'm asking for your help to help my mom live a long, fruitful life, Bezrat Hashem, and be comfortable. If you could help donate whatever you can, any amount would be appreciated. And I'll do my best to keep fighting for her, take her to the best doctors, take care of everything she needs to take care of. And I also hope I've brought encouragement and strength to anyone out there that has a family member or a friend, or you yourself are suffering through something like this. Very scary, I understand. I'll be here for you as well. I'm here for everybody. But right now, I need to be here for my mom, and with your help, it'll just make it that much better. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening.